Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to round 5 of Wicked Wednesday here in Fortune Racing. I am It's Chocolate, and I am going to be commentating today's race here in Mexico City. We are just getting underway now here into Q1, and wrong button. As we can see, we have some rain falling here at this Circuit de Hermanos Rodriguez. Intermediate conditions for the start of this qualifying session. It should be drying up. Only one qualifying session here. 18 minutes on the clock. I don't expect we're going to see anybody out really at all in these early stages. We might see a couple drivers going out to get a feel for the track. In fact, I think I can hear one of the Alpha Tauris, which I can't actually see which one it is. But one of them is making their way out onto track, being a little bit bold here, getting some running in. Who's it gonna be? It is, I believe, Tyrant. No, it's Gibbo. So Gibbo heading out on track early on here. We've got one of the Alfa Romeos making their way out as well. Obviously, these laps aren't really going to be very representative at all of their pace, as everybody on the intermediate compound tyres currently. But it'll get us a feel for, give people a little bit of a feel for the track. Warm themselves up a little bit. Maybe they haven't driven today. I'll have to wait and see. But yeah, just a couple of drivers heading out early on in this session. Getting a little bit of running in here. Just making a few notes quickly while people are on their outlaps. And nothing is happening. Alright then, Gibbo now coming through the final sector here. And pretty much everybody out on track now. Just a couple cars. We have yellow flags down at turn 1. That's one of the Williams. That is Giustorini having a little moment there. But Gibbo now coming around the final corner and starting his first flying lap of the session. Let me just check the live timing's working. That's all good. So here we go now, down the main street towards turn number 1. One of the longest straights on the calendar, this one, and it does make picking your setup here quite tricky, because you need as low wings as possible down that long straight to give yourself a good chance in the fight. But then through sectors 2 and 3, you need those low wings, the high wings, sorry, for the for those twisty, tighter sections. So through sector 1, we're about 3-4 seconds off of the dry running right now. Still plenty of time to come later on in the session as it does start to dry up. I expect we will see some dry conditions at the end of the session, though. We'll have to wait and see who can perform here. But yeah, we'll see come the end of the session. It should stop. It should be dry in about 10 minutes time. So I think we're going to get about, we can expect 1 lap of dry running from each driver. Gibbo now coming around the final corner. We've got yellow flags in sector 1 as well. It's one of the Alpines going slowly. It's a 27-1. So at least 10 seconds off the pace here. Finkit's a 26-9. Puts himself up into first. Kenzo does a 29.5 in third place. Milano had the fastest first sector. That Williams really helping him out down the long straight. Only manages third fastest in the end. And Ali Star in the Mercedes goes fastest with a 126.4. Tyrant jumps up to second now with a 26.8, a couple tenths off the Mercedes driver. And then Colin Rocco just done a 29.2, putting him P7. Next car to the line is going to be Cupton, but he's invalidated, unfortunately. His lap is not going to count. So then we go to Giustarini now, coming through the stadium section. He's got the Ferrari of Fractal on that lap behind him as well. I expect we might see Cupton go for a second lap here as well. Now, Giustarini coming towards the line. What can he put onto the timing table? It's a 28.0, up to 5th fastest, 2 tenths clear of his teammate Ramo and BPA both on laps now here. Coming through the middle sector, Ramo losing the rear a little bit there through the S's. Same for BPA behind. Both of them going to be struggling a little bit here in these wet conditions. And in fact, the Alpine has invalidated his lap, unfortunately. Nothing going to count. Both Alpines invalidating their first runs. And BPA also invalidated. So everybody really struggling with the track limits. Let's head over to the Ferrari of Fractal now. He is just coming through the start of Sector 2. This really tricky section here of corners. Turns 4, 5, and 6. Very easy to get track limits on the exit of Turn 5. He's managed to get through unscathed, though, now into the S's. We saw, I can't remember which one it was. I think it was Kevin Magnussen last year. Had quite a big crash through here. Hopefully nobody else will get caught out, but it is one of the trickier sections of this track. Now, through the stadium section, we go with the Ferrari. What sort of time can he get on the table here on his first run? Can he be contesting up at the front with the likes of Alistar and Tyrant? Or is this going to be a lap settling down into the mid-pack? Coming to the line now, it's going to be a 1:29.4, puts him 10th fastest, currently the slowest time on the table. BPA, I believe, is on a second run here now. So we can wait and see what he is going to put on the board. Coming through the middle sector where he invalidated last time around. Can he keep it within the track limits this time? Yes, he does. I think playing it a little bit safer there. Coming now down into the same section. Turned it a little bit too early. Had to back out of that corner. Otherwise, he was going to take a lot of curve there. A little bit wide through turn 15. Losing the rear at 16. Not the greatest of final sectors for him. Round turn 17 now towards the start finish line. Rear all out of shape for him. Across the line, it's a 1:28.7. Puts him 9th fastest. A couple drivers looking at what the times for the softs are. 25.3 from Finkits. The track is improving. We're already a second faster than the first runs. Lots of time to be found. Colin Rocco now coming round the final corner. 1.2 up through the first two. Stays 1.2 up, goes 6th fastest with that lap. Like I said earlier, these laps probably not going to mean too much, but we will wait and see who is able to find some pace here early on. It might give us an indication of some people's race pace and also their quali pace soon to come once we get onto those soft compound tyres. William Talbot, 4 tenths up through Sector 1, sets the fastest first sector to go with it as well in the Haas. We'll see how he continues on through this lap. Currently 2 tenths up on the Sector 1. I think it's maybe running slightly lower wings, though that could definitely be a factor. Through the S's now we go. This is where he's going to be losing the time if he is running lower wings compared to the guys out in front. Giustarini has the soft tyres fitted, not going out onto track yet. The soft tyres are still about 5 seconds a lap slower currently. And it's another purple sector for William Talbot. Goes fastest again. Yellow flags. That's one of the AlphaTauris getting out of the way. So it looks like Will is on to go fastest. Will's left the session though. And that lap is going to mean nothing for him. He looked set to take the fastest lap of the session there. And it was all for nothing in the end. Alistar, 3 tenths up through Sector 1. He is pushing on even faster than what Will did in Sector 1. A 30.75 for him. Over a tenth faster than what Will managed. Cube Tom, fastest in the Alpine with a 1:25.3. Puts himself to the top of the timing table. Let's see how Alistar is comparing through the middle sector. Even faster. Cube Tom's been disqualified, though. I think he just wanted to see what his pace was like. He wants to start from the back, though, and it's an invalidation for the Mercedes. Is he going to peel into the pits, or is he going to finish this lap out? We'll have to wait and see. Losing the rear a little bit across the line. It's a 1:24.666. Would have put him fastest by some margin. Unfortunately, that invalidation costing him dearly. Tyrant on a lap as well. Now, the only driver currently on a lap. Finding similar pace gains to Alistar through Sector 1. 3/10 up through there. Coming through the middle sector, he's 8/10 up now. And I think this is probably going to be some of the last few intermediate laps we see in the session. Not sure how many more people are going to go out. It should be dry, at least onto soft tyre running in 2 or 3 minutes. Tyrant now to the line, set to 1:24.5, fastest of anyone. But yeah, as I was saying, we should be seeing some dry tyres very shortly here. For drivers BPA, Justerini, Colorocco, and Finkers currently have them fitted in the pit lane, getting ready to make their way out onto track. The softs are now only 7/10 slower than the intermediates, so it's not going to be long at all before we see somebody daring to go out on a set of soft compound tyres. We'll have to wait and see who's going to be the bold one to make that jump first. We've got Fraxel just about to start a flying lap here. In fact, actually, Alistar's just gone for another run as well. So we'll see what the Mercedes can do. Making our way now down the start-finish straight. Still 6 minutes left in the session. Plenty of time. And there we go. DRS enabled. That is the crucial thing here. DRS has been enabled. It is time for soft compound tyres. And we have 3 drivers out on track on a set of softs. They're going to try and squeeze 2 runs into this 6-minute sprint qualifying effectively that we have. 6 minutes on the clock. Who is going to have the time to do 2 runs? Who is going to have to do 1? Will is back in the session. He will be able to go out on a set of soft compound tyres here. But we're looking at probably about 1 minute 20 laps. So maybe a 1 minute 40 out lap. 2 times, a 1 minute 40 in lap. That's already close to 5 minutes. I don't think there's going to be enough time, unfortunately, to get 2 runs in. Maybe it was a mistake for Colorocco, BPA, and Milano to go this early. BPA is actually on a lap on the soft compound tyres. He's done a 30.3 through Sector 1. We're still at least a second or 2 off of the completely dry run times. So I think the track is still very much damp. Going on board with BPA, we can actually still see it as he comes through the S's. He has kept it within the track limits, hasn't lost the car, but I expect he's going to be quite a way down. His wet time was a 1:28. He's only on a 1:26 right now. There was some mistakes in the final sector, but still making those, actually losing the rear there. Maybe just struggling to get up to grips here. Across the start-finish line now, it's a 1:24.3, only marginally faster than what Tyrant could manage on a set of intermediates, so not looking great. Milano on a lap here now, sets the fastest first sector, a 29.8 for him, half a second faster than what BPA did on the softs. There is time to be found for certain. Dry times, we're probably looking at around 1 minute 17s or 16s here, depending on which car you have. So yeah, it's really just going to come down to who can get the best track conditions here. I don't expect we're going to see fastest laps from anybody. But yeah, here comes Milano now, round the final corner towards the start-finish line. A 1:21.7, significant time gain over BPA. And I'm just waiting for my timing to update so I can see where he's found that time, actually. It's in Sector 2 and 3 found a second in each of those sectors on BPA and half a second in Sector 1 as well. Half a second Sector 1, 1.3 in Sector 2, 0.8 in Sector 3. BPA going for another lap. I guess he fueled up. Although this will have to be his last lap. He doesn't have too much fuel left in the tank and probably not enough time to get back round to try again. I think he probably should have come into the pits there, to be honest. Got a new set of softs on. We'll have to wait and see how it plays out for him. The German on intermediates right now. Not too sure what that strategy decision is. I think he's going to have to come back into the pit lane right now and get a set of soft compound tyres on. It is way too dry for the intermediates now. Multiple seconds a lap slower they will be now. Around 5 seconds per lap slower. Coming onto a flying lap now, we have Kenzo in the Alfa Romeo. Milano's just gone fast with the 1:19.6. Very nice lap from him. Another push lap coming from the Williams, 2 in a row. Maybe wasn't running the battery on that first lap, and that would explain the significant time jump there for him. So Milano currently fastest of anybody by 4.7 seconds. BPA and Colorocco, sorry, the only other two to set times on the soft tyres. Everybody leaving it right to the end. 1 minute 30 left on the clock. Some drivers just making their way through Sector 1 right now. They should just about have enough time to make it to the start-finish line. But it could be a little bit touch and go. Now, Kenzo coming through here on his lap. Sectors are looking alright, maybe for something in the low 20s, 21s sort of area. To the line now, it's a 1 minute 20.6, puts him second fastest. But everybody behind him yet to set a lap. Tyrant is on his lap currently, coming through turn 6. Along with the Alpine of Ramo just in front of him. Let's see what times they can put. BPA has retired from the session. Down towards the final sector now. Tyrant 5 seconds up on his lap. Set to take pole position as it stands. Drifting on the exit there of turn 14. Just a couple corners left to go now. Rounding the final corner in the AlphaTauri. Ramo will get to the line first. He goes faster with a 1:17.5. Tyrant goes faster. It's a 1:16.7. Can anybody beat that though? So many drivers still on a lap. Alistar in the Mercedes on his lap currently. Flying along purple Sector 1 for him. Does he have the pace to challenge Tyrant out in front? He's 3/10 up through Sector 1. He is finding some pace here. Can he keep it up through the rest of the lap, through the tricky, twisty section where you need that downforce? We'll have to wait and see. Coming towards the middle sector split, how much time is he finding? 6.9 seconds up. It's another purple sector for him. 2/10 up on what Tyrant did in the middle sector. If he can keep this final sector hooked up nicely, he could be on to take the pole position here in Mexico City. 1 corner left to go. Can he get it right? Rounding the final corner now. Up towards the start-finish line. Foot to the floor. What's he going to do? It's a 1:16.2. He's gone fastest by half a second. Very nice lap from him. Fractal now coming to the start-finish line. Manages 4th fastest with a 1:19.3. That's going to fall down the order a bit though, as Gibbo goes 3rd fastest with a 1:17.1, jumping his way up the order. Justarini up to 5th with a 1:18.0. And then we have the other Haas of William Talbot going 2nd fastest, 1:16.5. Only able to get within 3/10 of Alistar in the Mercedes though. Not quite close enough for him. Rambo unfortunately has invalidated his lap, and then it's just Colorocco who's invalidated as well, and Finkit's also invalidated. So there is qualifying for you then. Alistar in the Mercedes takes pole from William Talbot by 3/10 of a second. And then Tyrant and Gibbo, AlphaTauri second row lockout, lining up to try and challenge on their way to turn 1. 3rd position on the grid though, one of the best places to start I believe statistically. Given how long the run is to turn 1, I think it's over a kilometre from the grid boxes down towards turn 1, or it's around a kilometre. And the slipstream effect that you pick up starting in third off of the guy in first is so immense. Quite often you see the driver on third leading by the time they get up to turn 3. We'll have to wait and see how it plays out, but just confirmation there. There is your qualifying order. Alistar on pole from William Talbot, Tyrant Gibbo, Ramo Giustarini, Fractal Kenzo, Milano Colorocco, BPA Finkits, the German, and Cube Tom starting at the back. It's going to be a very interesting race. Cube Tom making his way through the field. We know he has the pace, but is he going to have the pace to fight with Alistar in that Mercedes? Is he going to be able to cut through the field fast enough? Mexico, quite a good track for overtaking with the long straight. We'll have to wait and see though. Are his wings too high to really make those overtakes swiftly? But yeah, overall, very nice qualifying from the top 4 there. Very good job by them, and the rest of them also doing a really nice job. It was quite close. 7th and 8th only separated by a 10th. 9th and 10th also separated by a 10th. And then the guys there was 3 or 4 drivers who didn't get a soft tyre run in, I think. Who were also quite close at the back in the 24s. But we are now heading down to the grid. Everybody selecting their tyre strategies, getting ready to make their way out onto track. We're going to get some insight very shortly into what tyres they are choosing and who is going to get the best start, who is going to be leading by the time we reach turn 1. That is going to be a really interesting question. Alistar obviously has the fastest car out of the that top 4, but that slipstream, it's very powerful in this game. It's very powerful in real life as well. We could see a 3-way fight for the lead by the time we reach the apex of turn 1. I think it's definitely going to be a very interesting one. Strategy could play an effect into this. Is anybody going to gamble on a set of soft compound tyres? Who is going to take those hards? Risk potentially losing out a couple of positions early on in this race. But it could pay dividends later on, especially if we get a slightly later safety car after everyone's pitted. There's the beeps. We are going to be making our way down to the grid now to start the formation lap here very shortly, and we will get to see what tyres everybody has chosen. Let's get that up now. It's hard compound tyres for the front row. Alistar and William Talbot both selecting the hards. Tyrant on the mediums, Gibbo on the hards as well. Ramo, the only driver to opt for a set of soft compound tyres. It's going to be very interesting to see him off the start. Can he make a couple positions up by the time he reaches turn 1 in that Alpine car? Giustarini on the hards, Fractal Kenzo, Milano on the mediums, then it's Colorocco hard, BPA medium, Finkits hard, German and Cube Tom both on the mediums, looking to make some positions up early on in this race. So Alistar leading us away now through towards back to the grid really, getting ready to start the race here. Shouldn't be too long, not the longest of laps here, so I expect, yeah, shouldn't take us too long to get underway. But yeah, and we are going to be having a fully dry race here, which I guess is going to make some of the drivers quite happy. Obviously, some drivers like a bit of rain here to spice things up. Others prefer a nice dry race where they can really show their pace off. So we'll have to wait and see. But here we go now. The grid is reforming a couple drivers just a little bit further back. Everybody in that final sector, they're making their way through. Should not be too much longer. I'm not sure what goes on with Mexico. There's that, you can see there's a Williams car. I saw it in qualifying as well. There's a Williams car on the floor in the background. It's gone now. That's really odd. Anyway, who can get their car lined up nicely here as the grid reforms? Giustarini in 6th place on the hards disqualifying. Kenzo and Colorocco also disqualifying. And Ramo on the softs. That's not good for him, disqualifying as well. we now head down to the grid. The grid is reformed. The lights are coming on. Here we go for this race in Mexico. We are underway now. Here for the Mexican Grand Prix. Good start from Will. Not a great start there for the Mercedes. He's going to be under pressure as they make the run down towards turn 1. The two AlphaTauris trying to get in the scrap. And here comes the Williams of Giustorini getting in on this as well. They're going 3 wide. I think further back down towards turn 1 we go. Tyrant and William Talbot battling for the lead. And there's contact. One of the cars, one of the Williams spun round. Tyrant and William Talbot out in front. Will just squeezing Tyrant out on the exit. Takes the lead on the exit of turn 1. Ramo getting all out of shape there on the exit of 3 as well. Down towards turn 4 we go now. Tyrant going to try it round the outside of the Haas driver. No space being given by Will. These guys like to get their elbows out when they fight each other. Tyrant now has the inside line through turn 5. And towards turn 6 we go. Gibbo getting in on it as well. Will's going to try it round the outside here. Is he going to get it done? Not quite. Here comes Gibbo now on the Haas driver around the outside as we head through the middle sector into the S's section. Tyrant leads us away here on lap 1. William Talbot close behind and so is Gibbo. Not a great start for Giustorini in the end there. Losing a lot of positions. And Gibbo's off the track, into the wall, into the barrier, losing the car through the S's. That's wing damage for the AlphaTauri. He's going to be into the pit lane. I think there's been a mistake for BPA as well. He's dropping off the pack. But look at the advantage Tyrant has out in front with those medium compound tyres over William Talbot. 9/10 of a second. By the time we come round the final corner, he has a massive advantage out in front. Really nice driving from him. Tyrant sets the fastest lap of the race as expected. A 1:25.3 for him. Ramo up in P4 currently on those soft compound tyres. Here comes Alistar on William Talbot in the slipstream. Going to be deploying some of his battery, making his way on the attack down towards turn 1, pulling to the right-hand side. We also see the Williams and Milano having a look there on the Alpine for a second. But Alistar now up into P2. He's going to be set after Tyrant. Both these drivers, P2, P3, on the hard compound tyres, they might struggle to keep up with the pace of Tyrant's mediums. We'll have to wait and see how this plays out throughout the race. But yeah, unfortunate starts for Giustorini, BPA and Gibbo, all of them having issues on lap 1. Gibbo in the pit lane, currently changing his front wing. William Talbot going a little bit wide there. Going to drop himself off the back of Alistar a little bit. Might put him under a little bit of pressure from Ramo by the time we reach the start-finish straight. Ramo on the soft compound tyres here. But Tyrant out in front, 1.5 seconds now. He is really starting to flex his wings, pull away out in front. Ramo, 6/10 off the back of William Talbot here. Milano on the back of the Alpine as well. This is getting very close. And Cubeton with an amazing start now up to P6. Already onto the back of this lead fight. Could be trying to challenge Tyrant here for the race win, I think. Here comes Cubeton to the inside, a little bit of rear locking there, and a bit of wheel banging as well with Milano as they come through the final sector. He's trying to get that move done as soon as possible. Who is going to come out on top as they make their way through the final corner? Cubeton gets his way past Milano. Milano now getting under pressure from Finkis as well, down the start-finish straight, but Milano also gaining on Cubeton. Milano in the Williams has the fastest car in a straight line. Cubeton in the slipstream of his teammate Ramo as well. There's going to be a three-way battle as we reach turn 1. Cubeton past the Alpine. Here comes Ramo as well. And Milano through turn 2 and 3. The Williams just squeezing his way through. And with that superior straight line speed, should get this move done. Here comes Finkits as well. On Ramo, down towards turn 4. He's trying it to the outside of the Alpine driver. That will switch to the inside for turn 5 if he can keep his car there. Ramo all out of shape. They're locking the rears on the exit there. And unfortunately losing that position to Milano. Finkits all over the back of him now as well as we head through the middle sector. Kenso on the back of Colorocco trying to look for a move there on the exit. Not quite close enough to make that one work. 2.5 seconds now. Tyrant's advantage out in front. He is really starting to pull away. Cubeton on the back of William Talbot as well. Getting ready to size up a move for P3 potentially. But further back, these battles still going on. DRS will be enabled down the start-finish straight as well, and it's a double detection, so you get it down from down towards turn 1 and also down towards turn 4. I think we're going to have a few more swap positions. Fastest lap of the race for Cubeton at 1:19.6. And here comes Finkits now down the main straight, getting the move done already on Ramo. He's going to be sizing a move up on Milano as well with that DRS. They're going to go 3 wide now into turn 1. And there's contact between them. They just about make it through the corner, but Ramo not going to be too happy with that one. Getting barged across by Finkits, getting sandwiched in between the two cars through turn 1. Finkits already flashing that battery. And luckily, Ramo managed to hold on to that position down into turn 4. I think otherwise he would have been quite upset with that. Cube Tom all over the back of Will, losing the rear a little bit on the exit of turn 6. But could be sizing up a move by the time they reach the start-finish straight. He's all over the back of the Haas driver. Might even try a move here at the end of this sector. Got some much better launch out of the S's. Here he comes with the DRS. They both have the DRS, but Cube Tom going to the outside, going past, I think, Will just letting him through. They're not wanting to fight with him. Is Cube Tom going to get the DRS off of Alistar, though? I don't think he has. He's just missed out by a couple hundredths of a second. No DRS for Cube Tom, and I think William Talbot might pass him quite easily here on this lap. 3 seconds now as we start lap 5. Tyrant's lead out in front, really starting to pull away, but Cube Tom now onto the back of Alistar. He doesn't have the DRS, but he is still closing in on the Mercedes car, and potentially could try a move on the next lap. Giustarini getting past Colorocco down the main straight as well with the DRS. Is he going to try for 2 here on the Alfa Romeo of Kenzo? He does, and gets the move done. Kenzo going to be under pressure from Colorocco as well as we head down towards turn 4. If he can get a good exit, that is. But it looks like both of them getting quite evenly matched exits. This DRS train quite balanced overall, and unfortunately no positions. Ramo and Milano fighting. 3 seconds for Ramo, and lots of wheel banging going on between the pair of them. That might get investigated by the stewards. Here comes Fractal trying it around the outside. Did Ramo pick up a bit of wing damage from that contact? We'll have to wait and see how his pace fares later on throughout this race. It wouldn't surprise me if he picked up some light damage though. And losing the rear as well. He is really struggling with the balance of his car on this lap. Not looking great for him. Maybe those soft tyres starting to struggle for grip. He still manages to stay within that DRS, but he is going to be feeling a lot of pain here and potentially under threat from the Ferrari as well. Colorocco getting past Kenzo as they come into the start of the final sector. Cube Tom now going to be sizing up a move to take P2. Tyrant's lead now 3.7 seconds. On the last lap, though, what was the pace? Cube Tom actually matching Tyrant's pace despite being in traffic. So now he has that clean air. Let's see what he can do. Can he start to close that gap on Tyrant as they make their way down throughout this lap? Milano under pressure from Ramo into turn 1. Milano doesn't have the DRS out in front. He's going to be under more pressure here down towards turn 4. If Ramo can keep a nice exit, it doesn't look like he got a great one. He could be under pressure from Fractal as well. Is Fractal going to have a look to the inside? He goes defensive. Not quite a gap there for Fractal to try and make that move. Unfortunately for him, Milano just getting a little bit out of shape there on the exit of 5. Had Ramo got a bit of a better launch off the corner, he could have tried to move into 6. And we have yellow flags. William Talbot has made a mistake. He's off. He has managed to get going. He's got to be careful to rejoin safely here. He's got a lot of cars behind him. They've got to be careful not to smash into the back of him. He has managed to get going again, but he's going to get overtaken here by Milano. Although we're going to try and stick it around. Goes off the track in the process. And now here, the Alpine had a look to the inside of the Williams there. Not quite able to get that one done. We're going to be under a lot of pressure here down towards turn 1. Ramo gets another 3-second time penalty. 6 seconds already for the Alpine driver here on lap 7. 6 laps completed, 6 seconds of penalties, 6 warnings, not looking great for him. Maybe he has one corner he's struggling on. Here we go again down towards turn 1. Will leading this train of cars now after his mistake. Milano having a look to the inside. I don't think he's quite close enough. Another opportunity though. Oh, there's contact between the Williams. There's a massive pile up. Everybody just piling in. What is going on, guys? Do you not know how to avoid a crash? Oh, no. So many cars involved there as they all just piled in, unwilling to try and avoid it. And lots of cars picking up front wing damage, all of that caused by Ramo and Milano colliding at turn 2. And then everybody just decided to ram into the back of them. I'm not too sure what was going on with everyone else there. Interesting strategy decision by them. Who has picked up wing damage? I saw a lot of carbon fibre flying. Who has come off worse here? Kenzo's missing an end plate. Colorocco's missing an end plate. BPA, I think, has also picked up some damage. But yeah, several cars getting involved in that. And now coming through the stadium section, a little bit of wheel banging there between German and Ramo. As German had a look to the outside of the Alpine. Ramo going quite defensive, managed to hold on to the position, but now down the start-finish straight, he's going to give up. Actually, he's coming into the pit lane. Ramo into the pits, Justerini into the pits, Kenso into the pits. BPA stays out. It looks like he might not have actually picked up some damage. I expect Milano, when he finally reaches it, is going to also come into the pit lane. Unfortunately, yeah, several drivers getting involved in that incident. 5 seconds for Milano for speeding in the pit lane as well, just to add to his hurt. He's got 5 seconds now to serve as well. CubeTom has been making some progress out in front, just gaining a couple tenths a lap. Last lap, 3 tenths he was gaining on Tyrant. And Milano has retired from the race. Just, yeah, slowly gaining on the AlphaTauri out in front. Slowly making his way through, getting ready. It's 36 lap race, obviously, so still plenty of time for stuff to happen. And yeah, very unfortunate there. BPA and Color Rocco, something happening between them, I think. Looks like it was just an overtake. Yeah, Color Rocco has front wing damage. He hasn't come into the pit, so that's going to be costing him a lot of time. That explains why BPA's managed to get that overtake done so easily through the middle sector. So Kenso nearly a lap down. He's probably about 20 seconds off, I would say, from being lap 2025. Gibbo getting past Ramo here. Has Ramo sustained some damage as well? 3 seconds to Alistar for track limits. Alistar currently sat in P3. Finkett's 3.5 seconds behind. Is Finkett's gaining? Not particularly. There's not really a pace difference between the pair of them. So it'll be interesting to see. CubeTom made some more inroads on that last lap as well. Color Rocco coming into the pit lane this time around. He, I guess, deciding not worth trying to stick it out. And unfortunately for him, he is going to come out down in P12. Justerini also into the pit lane. Onto a set of new mediums. Oh, we have yellow flags. That's Alistar. Alistar and Finkett have come together. What's happened here? We've missed this one. While we were watching that other battle, Alistar and Finkett have come together at the final corner. Alistar's picked up a 5-second time penalty, and Finkett is missing an end plate. So after that spin that Will had, that moment he had earlier on in the race, he is now going to be coming back probably to P3. Has Alistar sustained some damage as well? I'm not too sure, but he was quite wide on the exit there. Currently a 4.7 second gap, so when they do make their pit stops, Will come out ahead as a result of that 5-second time penalty, along with the 3 seconds for track limits that Alistar picked up. Looking at the pace, it doesn't seem that the Mercedes has any damage. Ramo into the pits for a set of soft compound tyres. Quite an interesting strategy choice, to be honest. But we'll have to wait and see how it plays out for him. And there goes Alistar round again. Has he picked up potentially some more damage? I'm not too sure what's gone on with the Mercedes. But he is really struggling now. Just struggling so much, unfortunately, for him. And wing damage as well. I expect he's going to be into the pit lane on this lap. To change that wing, going to be dropping him way down the order, unfortunately for him. Oh, and losing the car. On the pit entry, he got reset though, so he will be able to continue on here. Coming in now to change that front wing. I think it's also doing the same thing. I think we're going to see a little bit of a battle between the pair of them. We'll have to wait and see how it plays out. Gibbo now up into P7. Alistar has retired, unfortunately for him. Justerini's been given a 3-second time penalty. CubeTom, I don't remember when he got that actually, but he has a 3-second time penalty. He must have missed that throughout some of the carnage. He's now 1.2 seconds though off of the back of Tyrant. Very nice driving from him, closing that gap. It was about 4 seconds, I think, at one point, and he's managed to bring that down to just over a second. Won't get DRS this time around, but potentially could be sizing up later on. The top two have a massive advantage, though, out in front. 19 seconds. A pit stop here in Mexico is 21 seconds, so they are very close now to being able to come in to the pits and not worry about losing any positions at all. They can pretty much run this race as they choose. No worries really out in front at all for them. They have such supreme pace over the rest of them. The others also getting caught up in incidents hasn't helped them. So far in this race, as the German now coming into the pit lane on lap 11, the top 5 all yet to pit. Gibbo pitted on lap 1 onto that set of mediums, so he's going to have to make another pit stop again. So the top 6 still yet to pit in this race, effectively. I mean, theoretically, Gibbo could take these tyres to the end, according to the rules, but I think they were punctured long before that, to be honest. So I expect we'll see him pitting again in this race, although he has fulfilled the tyre regulations, so potentially for a medium tyre, Cube Tom now all over the back of Tyrant. He's going to get the DRS down the main straight, and this is going to be a very, very easy move to take the race lead finally for the Alpine, pulling to the right-hand side and ahead up into P1. Nicely done, especially that pace to catch. It was a really nice showing of his skill up into P1 now. He's just got to build a 3-second gap here over Tyrant with that time penalty, and then he is set in this race really to go and do whatever he wants to. Double DRS also helping him to defend from Tyrant there, down into turn 4. Now he has a head. He has the middle sector. This is where he's really thrived and shown his pace. BPA into the pit lane now, off of those mediums. Let's wait and see what Cube Tom can do here now. Binkit sets the fastest lap at 1:19.0. Just about half a second faster than what Cube Tom managed early on in the race. Yep, now has the fastest lap of the race. Down in 6th place. I guess that really shows the power of the undercut, though. All these drivers who have recently pitted now putting in really fast sectors, a couple seconds a lap faster than the leaders, actually. And Cube Tom coming into the pit lane, going for the undercut on Tyrant. Is this going to pay off for him? We'll have to wait and see. He is fitting a set of soft compound tyres here on lap 14. I would be very doubtful they're going to the end. I think he's going to be doing a 2-stop here to try and spike his race up a little bit. We saw him already catch up one time, coming now out of the pit lane. Is he going to get overtaken by Will, or did he just about pull enough of a gap? It looks like he's just about going to come out ahead of Will, although there's going to be a little bit of a battle as they make their way down towards turn 1. Will is actually just going to take that position, having the faster straight line speed coming a bit farther back from the straight, whereas Cube Tom came out of that pit lane, although those new soft compound tyres are going to have far superior grip compared to Will's hard compound tyres, and I think very shortly we are going to see an overtake happening. Colo Rocco and Kenzo battling into turn 1 as well as we're watching this. Cube Tom all over the back of Will, getting ready to go for the move. Now down towards the final sector. Let's see what Will is able to do. Tyrant has 23 seconds out in front here. I think Will just holding Cube Tom up a little bit here, actually. Vinkits with a 3-second time penalty as well, not going to be helping him in his battle here. Here comes Cube Tom now down the main straight. The German picks up a 3-second time penalty as well. And that is now P2 for Cube Tom as he is going to be pushing on. 3-second time penalty for Ramo. Lots of drivers picking up track limits. That was Ramo's third track limits penalty. He now has 9 seconds total. Not ideal for him. But look at the gap already. The Cube Tom was able to pull over Will just through Sector 1 alone. The gap he is closing on Tyrant, he's closed 1.5 seconds through Sector 1. He is really showing some pace here on these soft compound tyres. He's going for the fastest lap here as well, I expect. Almost a second faster than Tyrant through the middle sector. He is really flying along here in the Alpine. And he's really going to mix the strategy up, I guess. It's going to give him a little bit of a challenge to try and catch it up to the start-finish line. Now it's a 1:17.6 for Cube Tom. Beats the previous fastest lap by, I think, over 1.5 seconds. Very nicely done by Cube Tom. Oh, and Cube Tom crashed! What's happened to Cube Tom? What on earth has happened there? Cube Tom is out of the race. I looked away for a second and I've just seen Cube Tom flying off into the barriers. He had a wheel failure or something. 5-second time penalty for Ramo for speeding in the pit lane. I think that might have been a technical issue. We have a virtual safety car out currently. Tyrant, I think, is coming into the pits as well. Yes, he is. And Kenzo's picked up a drive-through under that VSC. So that's quite ruined his race. Unfortunately for him. Currently running in P10. He was in the points. Well, actually, it's P9 once he passes Cube Tom's car. But, unfortunately, I think that's going to drop him out of the points. Really unfortunate for him. Tyrant now leads by a very big margin. He's 8 seconds ahead of Will right now. And he's made his pit stop. Fractal into the pit lane now. He is going on to set of Hercon Montaris to the end. Finkits jumps past him up into 3rd position now. Gibbo up into 4th. Gibbo's still yet to make his final pit stop though. So Fractal has come up behind the 2 Aston Martins. Colorocco, German, and Fractal in this train. Let's see. Oh, German goes wide through turn 4. Fractal now up into P7. He's got one more Aston Martin to overtake. He has much newer tyres as well, so I don't think this is going to be particularly hard. Tyrant now has about a net 30-second lead here in this race. Oh, sorry, it'll be 26 seconds because it'll go down to Finkits' gap. But he still has a pit stop over everyone. Such is the performance from him. Fractal gonna be all over the back of Colorocco here now. Down the main straight. A little bit wide there from him. We'll have to wait and see. Onto the main straight. This is going to be a very easy move for him in the Ferrari as well. He's going to have so much more pace than this Aston Martin on the newer tyres. Pulling out and nice and easy overtake for him up into P6 for him. And that should be either P5 or P4. P5. Once everybody in front of him makes their pit stops. William Talbot too far in front for him to drop behind, I believe. I expect Will would drop. Right now it would be pretty much to where Gibbo is. So once Gibbo and Will make their pit stops, I'm anticipating the order to be Tyrant, Finkits, Will, BPA, Fractal, Colorado, German. I'm not sure where Gibbo comes out actually. But yeah, currently Finkits in a net P2. Not too bad of a race for him. And despite carrying that 3-second time penalty, it looks like it shouldn't really matter to him. Gibbo coming into the pits on lap 19 now. His second pit stop of this race. Off with the mediums. What is he going to go for? It's another set of mediums. Quite kind of expected. I think I said that a couple laps ago. That he has already used the hard compound tire on lap 1. So he can just do a medium to the end. So now he's just waiting to see when Will pit. And I think he might just try and go long here. Hope for a safety car. And if he doesn't get one, then just go for a set of soft compound tires and try to charge his way back through the field. Obviously, he has a decent lead over Finkits. Finkits coming through turn 1, Will coming through turn 6. But yeah, Tyrant just flying along. Oh wait, what? Oh, I was looking at the wrong Haas. That's why I'm getting confused. I was looking at BPA. So Will coming into the pit lane now. We have yellow flags as well. That's the Alpine of Ramo. Out of this race. What's happened to him? He's into the barriers. I can't really tell if he's just manually retired or whether he's crashed there. But he's out of this race. Now everyone who finishes the race will get points. Which I guess is a relief for Kenzo because he had that drive through. He's very close to getting lapped as well. Tyrant just a couple corners behind now. In fact, on the same piece of track here. And this is actually going to be the closest battle, weirdly. Ramos just left the session. Because everybody else seems to be a little bit more spaced out. I think the next car that's going to catch somebody. Actually, it might be Gibbo here. Gibbo closing in on Justerini. Could potentially be sizing up a move next time around down the main straight. We'll have to wait and see. Colorado have been on those medium tyres for 11 laps now. With 15 or so laps left in this race, I think if he's been saving his tyres, he might be able to take those to the end, but I expect we're going to see another pit stop from him. So far he's done 8 laps on a hard, 11 on a medium, so he can pretty much go to whatever he wants to. He has no tyre obligation to serve. If he wanted to pit around now for a medium, do what Will and Co are doing, then that could be possible. I guess another one to look at is Finkits, 10 laps. He's only 1 lap younger than Colorado. Potentially he might have to pit again. So now down the main straight we go. Here comes Gibbo on Justerini getting that move done. Is it going to be double trouble here from Gibbo? He's going to be sizing up the move on German as well in the slipstream with the DRS. Down to the inside of turn 1 we go. And through goes Gibbo up into P7 now. 2 overtakes for the price of 1. Nicely done by him. So far, only 1 driver lapped in this race, and that is Kenzo. And the next guys are Justerini down in 9th. That's still about 25 seconds up the road from where Tyrant is, was 20 seconds, something around that. So still got a bit of time before we're going to see that. This battle for P8 still continues on as well. Yeah, it's going to be very interesting with the tyres, actually. I expect we're going to see some pit stops from quite a few more drivers still. And Justerini getting past German there. German just running a little bit wide. Nice and easy move for him. Gibbo onto the back of Colorado as well. And through the final sector, through the stadium section, Gibbo up into P6. Did he get the DRS though? It might give Colorado a bit of an advantage here. Jamming is losing time penalty for multiple warnings. Gibbo didn't pick the DRS up, but it looks like Colorado's too far back to take any advantage out of it. So, yeah, unfortunately, Colorado just not quite close enough to be able to capitalize on the DRS that he did pick up from Gibbo, making that move slightly earlier, I guess, than anticipated. Justerini also managed to break the 1 second barrier to German. So his race looking quite nice. Maybe he's going to go after the other Aston Martin of Colorado. On the last lap, Justerini was about half a second a lap faster, and that was with a little bit of traffic as well. So I think still potential for a move to come still. So down the main straight we go again. Gibbo now 6 seconds off the back of Fractal. Is he gaining? Let's have a look. Last time around, Gibbo 1.5 seconds faster than Fractal. He is closing in at quite a rapid rate on the Ferrari. Could we see Gibbo try and challenge here for the podium? Currently, he is quite a way off P3, about 20 seconds. I guess he's going to need a safety car if he wants that to happen. I guess maybe if he keeps this pace up, at least he could be on for P4 maybe. I'm not so sure about P3 here. But Justerini now onto the back of Colorado. Let's see what he is able to do here. Finkit's into the pit lane. As I said a bit earlier, he doesn't have the tyre to go against. Neither does Colorado, Justerini. And then probably also not Kenzo. I think BPA can probably make it. Just about. His tyres are going to be a little bit worn. Finkitt's onto a set of medium compound tyres now. And actually, after that pit stop, if Gibbo can keep up the pace with Finkit's, I think then potentially that podium is on. He isn't too far off of it. Colorado into the pits as well, so Justerini doesn't have to bother overtaking him here. I think this is an important one though, because Gibbo is 57 seconds off the lead, BPA 51 seconds. So it's 6 seconds that Gibbo is away from that podium. If he can keep up the pace with Finkit's and his newer tyres, Gibbo could be on for a chance here. With the Sauber's penalty. We'll have to wait and see here. It does seem that Gibbo just isn't quite able to keep up with the pace. Finkit's now onto the back of Fractal as well. Will pick up some DRS, and he has already broken the 3 second time barrier. He is just flying along out in front. Not out in front. Currently sat in P5. But make that P for Finkit, getting the move done on Fractal with those much newer tyres, and he will set his sights straight after BPA 1.43, 1.3, 1.2, 1.1 seconds. Gaining that fast, the gap is falling that rapidly. And by the time we reach that start finish, I think the gap is easily going to be less than half a second here. I would be surprised, to be honest, if the overtake is made before then as well. 3 second time penalty for William Talbot. Here comes Finkit's going past BPA. I think BPA not bothering to fight this one. He has much older tyres. It's not really worth it for him. I think maybe he was hoping to pick up the DRS, but if he wanted to do that, he's let him through a little bit too early there. I think he's just going to pull away through the rest of the lap. By the time they reach the detection point, he's going to be too far away anyway. And now Fractal just about, I think, picking up the DRS off of BPA. I think it's up into third position now. But 14 seconds off of Will. Probably not going to be able to close that gap, unfortunately. One person who can close the gap here for sure is going to be Gibbo, though. Closing in on the back of Fractal and BPA. Once he catches up to this fight, I think he's going to be having a nice little battle. The tyre advantage to Fractal is not as big. Tyrant coming into the pits now. He had a 40-second lead, so not going to damage his race at all. So Gibbo now through the middle sector, 1.5 seconds off of the Ferrari of Fractal. It's going to take quite a mighty sector if he wants to catch up and get in that DRS. Although, I think Fractal getting held up a little bit behind BPA. BPA's battery flashing as well. The gap coming into the stadium, 1.3, 1.1, 0.9. He's within that 1 second if he can just keep it for this final few corners. And he has done exactly that. Gibbo is going to get DRS. He's back onto this train in the battle for P4 now. DRS open on the Ferrari of Fractal, down towards turn 1 we go. Gibbo on the back of this pack as well. Fractal going left. Gibbo just having to sit behind and wait. Almost going into the back of the Ferrari there. Actually just arening into the pit lane here. BPA just holding on to his position. The Ferrari not really willing to go through, I guess. I'm not too sure. Particularly why he sat behind there with so much left to go. Little bit of stake there from the Ferrari. Gibbo almost making the move there, just not quite close enough to make that one work. This battle is going to get intense though in these later stages of this race. Is Gibbo going to be able to get those moves done, or is there just going to be too much traffic for him? I mean, after a lap 1 pit stop, recovering all the way back to P4. Still a really nice stuff. Here we go to the inside of the Ferrari now. Fractal losing the position there. And this puts Gibbo in a really, really nice position to go for it on BPA down the start, finish straight, and grab himself that P4. Hopefully try and run away with the DRS advantage and break it to BPA as well in the process. Nice easy move there from Gibbo, getting that move done nice and early with the DRS. Up into P4, I guess the big question is going to be how much time can he pull on BPA here. Try and build a gap. He'll have the DRS again down this straight to assist him in that. Fractal 9/10 off the back of BPA actually hasn't really closed in all that much. Tyrant says the fastest lap of 1:17.3. And Gibbo just about breaking that DRS, although a little wobble there through the S's has cost him a bit of time. We'll have to wait and see. A little bit of DRS here for BPA to try and close that gap in. This is where we saw Gibbo find a lot of time though last time around, which managed to get him into the DRS. And it looks like now it's going to be the thing that gets him out of it. I'm not too sure whether BPA was under that 1 second as they crossed over the detection line. Let's move over to him to have a look. Did he get the DRS? I'm not sure where the line is. It's quite late, I think. I don't think he has got it, no. Just missed out there. Did the Hungarian. So, as we are about to start lap 30 of 36. It's Tyrant out in front, Will and Finkits, the two others on the podium currently. Justerini has just got past Colorocco up into P7, a couple more points heading his way. And he seems to have pulled that gap as well quite nicely. This has been exciting at stages, I guess, this Grand Prix. But at others, there hasn't really been much happening. The gaps are quite large. I mean, right now we have a couple gaps under 2 seconds, but nobody really fighting. They're all spreading out, and yeah, it's a bit unfortunate. Not too much happening in this race. So on the last lap, let's just have a look at some lap times here. Gibbo a 1:21.3, BPA a 1:21.8, and Fractal a 1:22.8. So yeah, unfortunately, they are just spreading out a little bit. Justerini has just set a 1:18.7, so about 4 seconds, sorry, a lap faster than those in front of him. If he can keep that pace up till the end of the race, he might just about catch Fractal in the late stages. We'll have to wait to see how it progresses for him. Those softs aren't gonna last forever, at least their pace. But we'll wait and see how long he can keep this pace up, whether he will be able to catch up to them. Obviously, there's a massive tyre advantage as well in the softs' favour. 18 laps, 14 laps for BPM Fractal compared to 3 laps for Justerini. And on that last lap, let's have a look. Again, I think around 4 seconds faster. At least over Fractal. BPA just about 3. So, yeah, just trying to do some mental calculation. I'm not too sure. It seems like Justarini's rate of catching has slowed down a little bit. I guess the more pressing issue also is, I believe, Tyrant is about to lap him. So, that's another issue he might have to contend with. The Tyrant isn't too far behind. 3 seconds, another 3 seconds for Finkits. Let me have a look there. That is his second one. So now 6 seconds. Gibbo now currently 9.6 behind. So he is safe from that penalty. Justerini has 3 seconds. The German has 6. Will has 3. Nobody's really going to be affected by these penalties at all, unfortunately. Still have 3.5 laps left to go with Tyrant for most of the drivers. So we'll have to wait and see who can finish where, who can keep it on the track in the late stages. And An interesting one, actually, Kenzo. Taking those hard tires long. I think that's going to be one to watch. He doesn't really have a need to stay out at this point, to be honest. Given how far behind he is, he's been lapped by P3 now, who themselves was 40 seconds off the leader. So he's a lap and 40 seconds off now. Tyrant now just coming past the German here, down towards turn 1. German gives him DRS, gets out the way, and 3-second time penalty for the German for multiple innings. Sorry, that's not the German, that's Colorado. But yeah, I believe the tyres on this Alfa Romeo have now fallen off the cliff. We'll have to wait and see if he does decide to just go to the end. Or if he's going to bail into the pits. If he does stay out, I do kind of want to watch this because I have it written down punctures are anywhere between 23 and 28 laps, which would pretty much encompass how long he's been on these tyres. By the end of this race, at least it will be 29 laps he's done on the hards. Although he's a lap down, which would make it 28. So yeah, it's going to be very interesting. I think there still could be a couple things playing into this. I mean, if he gets a rear puncture, Mexico is rear limited. That can really put your car out of control, especially depending on what happens. If you lose a tyre in the middle sector through the S's, I think you're pretty much just heading straight for a barrier. Tyrant has now started the penultimate lap of this race. So not too much longer left then. Just Arena, unfortunately, not going to be able to catch up to Fractal. All those soft tyres just not working enough for him late on. He's gained to 10 seconds, but with 2 laps left, I don't think he's going to be gaining enough. He hasn't gained 5 seconds a lap on any lap at all. In fact, now, actually, his pace pretty much leveled off. He's still gaining a little bit, but not masses. Gibbo also currently 10 seconds off of Finkett, who has that 6-second penalty. Won't benefit from that either to try and elevate himself onto the podium as it stands, unfortunately. So Tyrant now starting the final lap of the race here now. Still 14 corners to go for him. They still theoretically could make a mistake and lose this all, but I think it's pretty much home and drive for him now. I don't think he'll be pushing 100% anymore now with a 30-second lead. Probably hasn't been pushing for half this race at all. Just playing it safe, keep it out the barriers, and bring that car home. I really hope that the Alfa Romeo doesn't get a puncture while we're watching Tyrant here, as he's now coming through the stadium section where the podium ceremony is held. You can hear the fireworks going off now as Tyrant rounds the final few corners in that AlphaTauri. He comes round the final corner now and across the line to win the Mexican Grand Prix. He extends his championship lead out in front. Tyrant, your Grand Prix winner here in Mexico. Let's head back over to Kenzo. He is still going. Gibbo has got past him, but he is still on track currently. Hopefully he can make it to the end here, even if it's on 3 tyres. 3-second time penalty for BPA. He's currently 4 seconds ahead of Fractal. Hopefully he'll be able to hang on to that one. Here comes William Talbot now rounding the final corner. The two Aston Martin drivers swapping positions as a result of a penalty, I believe. William Talbot across the line takes the P2 here. It's a British 1-2. Britain out in force here in Mexico. In fact, it's a British 1-2-3-4. Finkits and Gibbo also joining the British club. Finkits comes home to take that P3, rounding out the podium positions. Gibbo round the final corner, takes P4. A nice recovery drive from him. And Kenzo does just about hang on with those tyres. Has he got a puncture across the line there? Or was that just him losing the rear? Let's have a look at that tyre. I want to know how much wear they had. It looks like he's just about hung on there. And the rest of the cars have just come across the line. We'll have a look at the order in a second. But yeah, I think Kenzo just barely managed to hang on in the end. Finn gets taking driver of the day, well deserved, coming home in P3 there after he started all the way down in 12th. Very nice recovery drive from him. But today, all about Tyrant. Won the race by over, actually it was just under 30 seconds, 27 seconds. I think that shows how safe he was taking it in the end there. His last lap much slower than what Will did. But yeah, in the end, nobody could stop him and his pace. I think definitely some mistakes for the others definitely cost it. But in the end, Tyrant taking the win and the fastest lap. I'm not sure if he led every lap. I don't believe so. I think Cube Tom led at least one. So unfortunately he doesn't get that one. But it's the pole. It's the fastest lap. No, it's not the pole. Will took pole. No, who took pole? Alistar took pole. It's not the pole. Very sorry. He gets the win and the fastest lap. Maximum points coming home for him. Will take second. Finkits third. Then Gibbo, BPA, Fractal, Justerini, Colorocco, German, and Kenzo. Your finishers in this race. Rambo, Cube Tom, Alistar, and Milano round out the rest of the drivers who unfortunately did not finish this race. Very unfortunate for them. But yeah, I believe it is now time for some interviews. So let's all right then. All right, just got to quickly end task on that. All right then, so hello, Will. P2 for you there in that race. Probably not the race you were looking for there, given how it all panned out. Do we have Will?
I'm bloody muted. Not the race I wanted, but it was pretty lonely. For the majority of the race, after I had that spin, I felt a bit more consistent. One of my more consistent races, by far. Yeah, Tyrant was just too quick for me, and I think I made a bit too many mistakes before my initial spin.
So yeah, with that spin, was that just losing the car? Was there contact with anyone? Was it just
I
driver
lost
error?
grip all of a sudden.
Right. But yeah, I mean, P2, not too bad of a result in the Haas. Can't complain too much. And it's gonna give you a decent position in the championship as well. Should jump you up a couple of positions here. So yeah, not too bad. Still definitely some positives to take away from this weekend. Next race in Wicked Wednesday is Spain. How do you feel you're gonna do there? Sprint race as
Oh, for
well.
God's sake. Not my best track. I'll be hoping for, depending on who's racing, a podium maybe.
Yeah, well, we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, best of luck. We'll see how it goes for you. But yeah,
Yep.
just unfortunately not able to keep up with the pace of Tyrant.
Yep.
All right then. Uh, uh, uh. Hello, Tyrant.
Hello.
Or as I should call you now, Max Verstappen. Um, bit of a dominant race, probably a bit boring up front for you. How was it?
Better than I was expecting, because AlphaTauri.
Yep. But yeah, 30-second lead in the end over Will. I think 50 seconds over the next car and lapping half the grid. Can't complain too much with that race. Yeah, you must be quite happy with it.
Yeah, I'm happy with that. As you said, it did get pretty boring, but a win's a win, and I'll take it for the championship.
Yep, extending your championship lead now after Gibbo had a bit of a struggle in that race. Unfortunately for him, yeah, losing. He lost out on the race start, and yeah, now, ooh, that's quite a big. You got a 31-point lead in the championship now, so looking quite good for you. We'll have to wait and see how it goes. But it is looking quite good for you. We'll have to, yeah, wait and see. Next race out in Spain, sprint race series. So how do you think you're going to do there?
I like the track. I'm not very good at it, but again, it's 31 points with 3 races left. It's going to take quite the bottle.
Yeah, well, yeah, so still plenty of points up for grabs at least. 3 races plus a sprint. We'll have to wait and see how it goes, but yeah.
79 or 77. No, yes, 78. There we go.
Do you want to check your maths there?
25 times 3 plus 8 plus 3 fastest laps. Oh.
Yeah.
86.
That sounds slightly better.
There
But
we
yeah.
go.
Yeah, I think it's looking good for you, but obviously anything can happen really. We'll have to wait and see how it goes. But yeah, really good result today. Congratulations on the win.
Thank you.
And yeah, best of luck for the next race in Spain.
Yeah.
All right then, that is going to be it here. Next race we have is tomorrow, Division 1 Qatar. So make sure you tune in for that. Going to be lots of close racing, I am sure. But yeah, thank you everybody for watching, and we will see you in the future, hopefully. Thank you.